Why
Okay,
is it?
I think we can start.
Yep, I'm ready.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Salam.
Welcome to another Quranic journey together. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wassalam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali kulli wa sahbihi kulli ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Now, what we are doing, it has been 3 weeks. We're covering the subjects of dua, supplication, and prayer in general. It's really amazing subjects once we understand properly in terms of how we define it, how we practice that, and how important for us and for everything in the universe. So essentially, our definition of dua is in traditional sense with just things like as if when you memorize certain things and you do certain ritual and you make dua. But in our comprehensive way of looking at dua, we consider dua is a way of connecting and communicating with the Creator in a way that everything, including human being, have been created in a particular way to constantly make dua. So dua is really not something that is limited to certain, let's say, time and place or certain ritual. It is it encompasses everything in life, in existence, when we truly understand its comprehensive meaning. So in a way, we define dua is a way of connecting to the Creator, way of communicating with Creator, way of asking what we want, what we need from the Creator. And it's not us only. Everyone, every moment, for everything, they are asking from the Creator. And the Creator is responding to them. And now, if we truly understand the dua in comprehensive manner and realize that it's everything goes around the dua, around the prayer, and then if we make it at the center of our life in terms of how we give the meaning to what we do, whether we are sick and looking for shifa, or whether we are hungry, looking for food, it doesn't really matter. It seems like every single situation is intentionally making it to get us to go back to the Creator, to connect to Him and communicate with Him. And in this regard, that we said we begin with three main categorization of dua to understand in comprehensive way. And last week, we mainly focus on the dua in terms of how everything's created with potential, and they, through their potential, asking from the Creator to be their potential to be unleashed or to be created for them. So the examples is a seed, let's say, and a seed when comes together with the soil and water, in a way, make supplication, make dua, and say, please turn me into a tree. So in this case, that is we call it that's a dua that every creatures do based on what they have as a potential. Now there are two other type of dua as well. So we're going to inshallah reflect on those as well and come to particularly our own dua and then try to see how we are supposed to make dua and how our dua is somehow different than the dua of, let's say, non-living being and other living being. So let's start, inshallah. Dr. Ali.
Assalamu alaikum. That's a good introduction and remind me an interesting point. Now, may our friends think that now these people are just wasting our time by talking about dua. We know dua. When we need something, we turn to God and say, please Allah, I need this, and please Allah, make my friends be kind to me. This kind of, or give me a good job, or give me a good family, or give me this opportunity, I am in need. But why we have been spending so many weeks on talking about dua? I think uh, uh, our principle, as far as I know, here, not to repeat we have already known about anything. Now, especially this time, now we don't need to repeat the known information, but what in the wide culture is not known, that the whole universe is created, everything is created in their essence, in the way that they are created, to, to be in need of their creator. So what they did to us through our, we call it education, I would say, not education, destroying our essence, human reality, of course, by interpreting the things in the wrong way. We think that a tree grows, birds fly, and fish swim in the sea. That's how it is. No, everything is created to be in need of asking for their existence, one, continuation of their existence, two, and to be given whatever they need to continue to exist, to continue their beings. If they are living beings, their life. So, for example, when you look at a plant, it is the way that it is created, it is always in need of appropriate amount of water, air, light, minerals, whatever. In order to understand this, we have to break this very, very strongly imposed on our mind, the cause and effect relationship as we see it. There is no cause, there is no effect, there is a continuous creation within a perfect order, and this order doesn't change, and this not changing order makes appear to us, to our mind, that they are uh, connected to each other rather than they are next to each other, adjacent, nexus. It's a very famous term, actually, uh, in Islamic thinking and also in the Western philosophy. If they believe in God, if a philosopher believes in God, the Creator, they say everything is next to each other, attached like this, with no gap. This is the continuous creation. That is why it keeps repeating the same pattern. The people, we think that it is necessary to be in this way. We don't see that everything is created in need of prayer. Always praying to the Creator to keep their existence, to continue their existence, and to satisfy their need. Now, uh, this is what we have to refresh our mind. Of course, Most of the people take almost 20 years of education in their life in a secular setting. 20 years of learning needs 20 years of unlearning. So, Dr. Nejati, we have to talk about dua 20 years. No, no, not that much. That's very frightening or frustrating. So we have to go step by step now. We studied the first step, then everything in their existence. They are always making prayer in their very essence, the way they are created. This is the mercy of the Creator, so that we shouldn't be misled, as if the thing is just satisfying their existence by themselves. But everything is created. They cannot carry their existence. Nothing in the universe, maybe the galaxy, cannot have any quality to carry their existence to the next moment. That is what we find difficult to understand. For example, I say, okay, I'm going to get a cup of water. Nowadays, the climate is hot almost everywhere. Now, I'm going to get a cup of water from the kitchen. We take it for granted that kitchen will be there in the next moment. Water will be there in the next moment. But in fact, the next moment doesn't exist. Do we notice that? Past, gone from existence. We cannot bring it back. Nothing can come back again. Impossible in this universe. And next moment also doesn't exist. So we have to know that I'm going to get a water from the kitchen. We know that we have to realize that I need the next moment to be created. Have you ever thought this? No, I take it for granted that the kitchen is there. And I will go there, it will be there. This understanding that the Quran keeps saying everything continuously makes dua by making tasbihat, tahmidat. It means my Creator sustains my life, my existence. Now, the second form of prayer that we are going to study today, the prayer of innate need. The previous one was uh, the prayer of potential. That is for everything, but prayer of innate need specifically for the living beings. Now, now, all living creatures, all living creatures pray for what they need to survive because they cannot. Now, you need water. Can you create water? Can you provide water for yourself? No, you have to find the water already created for you, for me, so that we can need it. Now, all living creatures pray for what they need to survive, to continue their existence. They need things that are way beyond their own power or will. Because of the Creator is compassionate and wise, he sends them from place they would never expect. What does it mean? What exactly what they need at the right time. If you like, the yeast of the creation, we have to look at it. The gist, the essence of the creation is organized, created, arranged in such a way that everything comes into existence in the most contradictory conditions. For example, the physicists talk about energy, don't they? Where does the energy come from? Any thought about it? Where does the energy come from? Most unexpected source. What's that? Matter itself, created in such a way that, and also all the plants, for example, animals, where, as far as we see, how it is created, the most unexpected, if you like, means, we call it causes. Life comes out of what? Water, light. There is no life there, but it is created in a way that you cannot attribute the result to its elements. Plant is any plant, whatever you think about it. Let's say the plant of anything, the tree or any kind of plant. Where do they come from? Life come from nowhere. And they grow where? In dirt. Dirt, earth. Earth itself, it has no life, anything. So all the beautiful uh, planning, designing, and all the beautiful, perfect arrangements and taste, smell comes from completely opposite, uh, comes from somewhere which has completely opposite qualities, completely opposite qualities. I am eating, they say, uh, for example, oh, I don't know much about sciences. You need to eat carrots if you want your eyes see better. Look at this. Now, carrot seems to be the means of having a better vision. Look, what is my vision, and carrot, and the carrot and the earth? What is it to do with it? Nothing, no common property at all. For example, if I understand, if I want to make a dress or a shirt, and the material, we change the material, put in a new shape, and make a shirt for myself. I understand the shirt is made of material. I understand. That is how we are experiencing the world. But in fact, if somebody gets a handful of earth and out of earth makes a shirt, what will you say? Magic. Nothing to do with it. I was born in the inland and the cold, mostly now. There is no cotton grown in the area I was born and I grew as a child. Once I grew to a certain age, and then I went to the southern part of the place I was born, and I have seen cotton field. I said, out of earth? Darkness created. Nothing to do with it. No common property at all. Completely magical. It is called miraculous, we call it. It's not magic. It is a miraculous acts of creation. That is why it is very important. For example, baby is born, right? Baby is born. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me give this example. And suddenly, mother's body starts producing milk. How do they know? Who communicates them? Completely unexpected. So, and is exactly what they need and exactly at the right time. Now, in short, everything that happens in the universe is a form of prayer presented to God. We should understand this. The universe is created to pray. Human beings and plants and living beings are created to pray. Where? In their essence of existence. Whether we use our free will to go along with this essence or reject it, that is our choice. We are left free here. That's what the Quran keeps saying. Let them enjoy the world. I will create for them. I'm not going to lose anything from my property, the creator of the universe says. Let them use it. I will give them the opportunity to deny the reality. And at the end, I will ask them, okay, what you need, that's enough. I fed you here. I gave you the opportunity to experience the reality. And after certain time, that's enough now. If you thought and thanked nature, for example, then ask nature to satisfy your needs. I stop now. Now I stop. Whoever asked me and acknowledged me, I will continue. If they don't acknowledge me, okay, go on then. Go and get your own. The Quran gives this option, always says, go and ask your idols, whatever you thought of, ask them to create what they need. Because you thought that, you believe it, you thought that they were satisfying you. That is what the end is expected for everyone. Now, here is the when we see a newly born baby, it is asking with its innate need, the way it is created for milk, the way it's created, the innate need. For they the baby asks for milk, compassion to be taken care of, the protecting, cleaning, etc. It's created in this way from the one who created him, whoever is created, and it is provided. Whether we acknowledge it or we don't, that is our choice. Now we have to use our reason and think about what does it mean, this one? Why this many surprised, Dr. Nezati? Orange juice is coming, huh? Out of the,
Some arrive here too.
so why this many surprised? Can you explain to us?
Yeah, I think that will be shocking. Obviously, I think the face is shocking because he was expecting milk, and now orange juice is coming, and he's completely shocked. You know, how can orange juice come from the body of a cow? As if milk is a normal to come, but orange juice is just amazing. It's really interesting.
Yeah, because of your accustomed way of regulations, orderly creation, if we are not careful, if we don't think about it, it becomes familiar to us, and we are not surprised. When milk comes, we are not surprised. How this cow's body produces this milk? Is it possible the cow is doing this? He's a milk engineer or what? We are not surprised. It's quite normal. When something that we are not used to, and we don't get familiar, so we surprised. We are surprised. That is why we have to pay attention that anytime this farmer milks the cow, he must be as surprised as he is in the picture. Is that correct? Every time. But unfortunately, we don't. That is called, normalization. If everybody does something, you do the same thing and you don't feel strange, something different. Familiarity. Familiarity is the most, if you like, dangerous enemy of human beings. We have to watch out for familiarity. So we are always, when we go there, when I turn the faucet on, water runs and everything is fine. We don't think about it. But when I turn the faucet and water doesn't come, what I do, I start blaming the water supplier company. But when the water comes, I don't remember the water supplier company. That's human psychology. When, for example, let's say an orange tree, when there is an orange grown on the orange tree, it's quite normal. It's an orange tree, man. Of course. Of course you will expect that in this season it grows oranges. But when it doesn't grow, or see something, let's say an orange tree, when we see the strawberries are growing, we get surprised. Why? Familiarity. If we have to watch out. Familiarity breaks the connection between me and the creator, and I forgot about the creator. I take it for granted. It happens always in this way, and it happened again, the same thing. That's what I know. No, every time we should be surprised. That's why Qur'an says every time, everything in the universe continuously glorifies tesbihat, makes tesbihat, glorifies their creator. Only the creator of the universe who created this cow with milk or with orange juice, whatever, can do it. Cow or anything in this world cannot turn the earth, water, sunlight, air, as far as we know, into milk. Cannot turn it. And the cow knows that it needs to be milked. Otherwise, it gets disturbed. That's why it is created. Everything is perfectly arranged. So,
Okay, before we move to that one, may I just make a few points on that?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think that is, again, we're discussing this second type of prayer, that the prayer to the innate need. It really reminded me, and an atheist friend many years ago, he told me, like, you pray You read Quran, what does God do for you? Does he do anything for you? So I think what we're saying that God does everything for us, every moment. And it's not like just, you have this exceptional, let's say, a blessing, and then you say, oh, God does this for me and save me, or does so it's everything's in a way, if we really become aware, is from him. Now, the key part here is the prayer essentially is asking for something. When we say pray, we say is asking. In this case, that the prayer of innate need means that we all, as a living being, need many, many things, and we are asking for their fulfillment. And it is him, with his infinite power alone, who could respond and fulfill our need. Now, what is the problem? The problem is that when he responded, he sent all these things through certain means, and we confuse the delivery means with the source. We see that the tree is the source, the cow is the source, the honeybee is the source, the soil is the source. That is the problem. So the problem is that we confuse the means of delivery with the source of that particular ni'mah, blessing. So, and in reality, as you mentioned, it takes little thinking to understand that means is not the source. Why? Because the means is not qualified, is the most, let's say, strange means that could give you such let's say, a product. So the example of like getting a delicious, let's say, apple from a disgusting animal waste is telling you that the animal waste cannot be the source. And so it's an example of, mixing the water and the hay and then having the milk, telling you that milk has nothing to do with the hay and the water. So in this regard, that the key part here is to reflect and to understand that the cause, the apparent cause, is not the real cause. But since we always see this certain things come in a certain way, we just think this association as a causation, and we start to just think as if it is source. Like the example, the picture you put it, when we see always milk comes through the cow, we're not surprised. We think the cows could make it. But as soon as we see, let's say, orange juice come, we say, no, that's not possible. But I will assume, I will think if this particular cow begin to bring, let's say, orange juice for a while, then we're going to call this cow, this is an orange juice cow, and we're going to just take it for granted, not thinking the cows can not make orange juice and cannot make it milk. There must be the source. So that is what I think is the problem. So in this regard, that the question here, how can we remove this veil of causation by reflection and use our mind and say, no, the cause, the apparent cause cannot be the source, because it takes an absolute power and knowledge to actually create that. So that is, I think, once we understand that, then we will perceive a very different universe in which that every plants, every animals, every human are completely needy. We absolutely no power, but their need is like as if being fulfilled by a hidden hand. But the only issue for us is that we have to completely disregard the cause in terms of being the real source. And we have to reframe this cause as just the means of delivery. So honeybees doesn't make honey, deliver the honey. Cows doesn't make the milk, deliver the milk. Tree doesn't make the apple, brings, just deliver the apple. So if we can change this and understand logically, and I think maybe we can overcome this problem and realize all are from Allah. Like when Maryam, alayhi salam in the Quran mention, oh, this is my Rabb is giving this to me. It's really same thing for us. And then we become truly amazed. And I think when you mentioned we have to be amazed every time when we see those things happening, it reminds me in a hadith that in which the Prophet says that, oh Allah, increase my amazement. Increase my amazement, then I don't take those things for granted. And I think that is very, very essential, perhaps, one things that we do this Quranic reflection, it's really helping us to be amazed with creation.
When we hear that the prophetic miracle narrated, that a God spoke, we say, oh, no, impossible. While we are speaking, while I and you are speaking, we don't say impossible. A meat is speaking, impossible. But we say human beings speak. Why? This contradictory creation, the so-called cause, in inverted commas, and so-called effect. Chemical reaction, cause, and one thing, and chemical reaction is created, and they call it emergent property happens. Like cow eats grass or hay, and emergent property happens, milk. What is it to do with it? Name it, name it. They call it chemical reactions are transferring. Chemical reactions are the most conscious, knowledgeable engineers. But they are matter. God creates the universe with his absolute mercy in a completely contradictory conditions so that human beings should not be confused. For example, if God created the shirt from material, do you understand? I will say, material, uh, however, became a shirt. Still surprising, but because a shirt is still made of material, but milk is made of hay. Nothing to do with it. Nothing, no common property at all. They name it and they say it's a scientific explanation. What is this? Chemical reactions cause or produce emergent properties. The big language with no reason, no evidence at all. Just claim cow's body produce milk. Why? It is, there is something, chemical reactions are going on there. Who arranged it? How it is transferring? This engineer, where is the engineer? Nothing, evidence at all. Just claim word. We get surprised when we hear the prophetic miracles that, for example, God spoken or a piece of wood spoke or cried. These are the narrations. We say, piece of wood cried? Impossible. Why human beings cry? How is it possible then? It's meat. Meat cries or wood cries. What is the difference? But one of them is life. Okay, uh, God. God is alive, and God, we got used to that. God makes certain voice. We don't think, how does he make? How does he communicate with each other? Yeah, gender relationship, for example. How do they know each other? Who taught them? Who taught them this is a female? What you are the male, and you need to be together to have a new baby. How do they know that they need a new baby? Meat. Meat is just earth, originally from earth. As the Quran says, we created you from the earth, right? Earth and air. How do they feel the need for having a new baby. You understand what I mean? How do they feel it? What do they know? And we think, how do we know? Human beings. How do we know? We are made of the same material, earth and water. How do we know? We don't surprise. But again, familiarity is a very dangerous enemy for us if we don't if we are not careful. Very dangerous enemy. We have to watch out. Okay. Now, I think we have to go a bit faster. The prayer of conscious beings like us, we call it just, how do we pray now? We pray in two ways, always, to express our needs. When human beings use uh, our free will to obtain that we need, whatever we need, by obeying the order which is established by God, because it is impossible matter will produce its own order. No one, how atheist or believer, a scientist, physicist, whatever you call them, can demonstrate that matter organize its own order. Impossible. Ask AIs now. Ask them. How do they explain the existence of origin of order? Because matter cannot exist without order. It means the orderliness, we have to understand this actually, we have to be very careful. Orderliness uh, comes before the existence of matter, before the existence of atom. Do you understand? Atom cannot produce its order if it doesn't have the order. Do you see what I mean? If you are not created as a human being, you cannot speak. If you are not created as a human being, you cannot see, you cannot think. In your essence, in your creation, the creation is so amazing. God gave no gap at all for human beings to make an excuse that I am misled here. Impossible. Everything is contradictory, created in a contradiction so that no one can say that previous material is the cause of the second material, or second moment of existence of the things. Impossible, just contradictory to each other. So we have to know that by obeying the order we human beings, which is established by the creator, now matter cannot establish the order. That is very important. So, for example, if you human beings don't have properly working human qualities, can you think properly? Can you do any new, for example, any action that requires consciousness? No, your brain and your body must work properly so that it is created to do this function, to act in this way. That is why we are thinking. If I didn't wasn't created with the brain, I would never ever think at all. Now, if my brain damages, God forbid, I cannot think properly. That is obvious. So uh, we have to say that whoever created the universe, he created the universe and established the creation with a perfect order. So whether we were aware of or not, anytime we obey the order in the creation, we learn through our life and obey the order, whatever we want to do. For example, I want to see you. What I do, I obey the order to see you in your picture. So I have to use the machine, etc. So that is why I need to do something. While I am doing this, I am obeying the will of the Creator who created the universe with this order, within an order. This order can happen only by the will of the one who created the universe. Is it clear?
Yeah, let me give an example. Really, I think this is a very, very important concept. I want to make sure we really understand this, because to me is that in one way, the whole what we do in science or humans exploration, we try to understand this order, but to really see the order and then then make such a logical conclusion is very essential. So the analogy I'm going to use is this. So please correct me if I don't get it right. So what I understand is, like, let's say you move to a place and then you find out there is a particular order in this house. What is the order is like there is a place called kitchen, there is a place called sitting room, and each one of them is arranged based on that. This is an order, is very, and then and it's everything is clean, and there is a time for the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So once you learn about the order in that, let's say, guest house, and then if you follow the order to fulfill your needs, you're essentially obeying the rules, the systems that is established and maintained by the host. So in a way that, let's say, within this order also, that you have to, because we see the order is not only you have the order, you have the continuous change while keeping the same order, which means that you see always, oh, the kitchen is being replaced, but still the kitchen item goes to the kitchen. You see the seating rooms is rearranged, but still is rearranged as a seating room, which means that the overall order is kept as is, but it's constantly being renewed while the order is kept. So in this case, the key question here is that how did we get this order? Is it those items decide and say, I need to arrange myself in this way to just have this guest to enjoy life? Or is it that the work of someone that who intentionally, purposefully does that? So I think that is essential, that we reflect on the order and we say whatever we do in this guest house of this planet is nothing but understanding the order and following the order to expect the fulfillment of our needs. And that is a prayer. That's how I understand. I don't know it's a correct characterization.
It's a good example, a guest house. So if you behave uh, as it is arranged, the guest house owner is pleased with you. When you apply for it again, let's say Airbnb, if you behave nastily, yeah, and destroy the things. So what did they do? They register you. If you apply for another guest house, they wouldn't accept you. They wouldn't accept you to get it, or how to say, to reserve the guest house if it is uh, recorded. They usually record. That's the system. That is how, if you behave rightly, respectfully, and obey the order of the creation, but knowing that this is the guest house, the universe is a guest house, isn't it? We are here as a guests. And the owner said, okay, apply for another one, I will give you. But if I destroy it, then the owner says, no, there's no more reservation for you. Go and find a place for yourself because you didn't obey the order. It means obeying the order is acknowledging the Creator. The essence of prayer is acknowledgement. We have to understand also this point. Okay, another one is Now, we are, whether we are aware or not, now, this is the prayer by action. For example, a farmer plowing, this very famous, typical example. I will just read it, everybody will understand it. A farmer plowing the field is praying through his work. He is not asking the dirt for food. He is obeying the order of creation by tilling the earth. The door to God's mercy. It means asking God's mercy for his daily bread. Now, this is by action. We know that every action we do is a prayer, form of prayer, whether we are conscious or not. If we are conscious, then we will be given again. If we deny and ignore it, we won't. That's what the Quran keeps saying, that I have given you life and I'm going to give you death. And the death is the end of training, end of education, graduation day. After graduation day, whatever you learned, accordingly you will live. We have to watch out. This is a temporary place we are living here. We all are going to die. We have to be realistic. We are going to die, graduate from this school of the universe. We have to watch out for our life. It's a serious matter. Afterwards, all my life will be the result of the harvesting, whatever I have learned here, however I behaved here. If I destroyed and denied the owner and rejected the owner, then I will not be treated again by the owner of the universe. And I have to find out the source of my satisfaction, wherever I claim to be, to have this source of satisfaction. Nature, go there. Okay. For example, now the sincere request also is a form of prayer, human need. Now we are talking about the human prayers now. No, the sincere request. We also pray during a time of desperate need. Now, for exceptional cases, we do that. Or with a truly pure heart. This prayer is almost always accepted. It's a sincerely. In fact, most of the human progress and great scientific discoveries. Now, it's strange, isn't it? What are we talking about? Human progress and great scientific discoveries are actually the results of this kind of deep, focused searching, the best way to ask the Creator to create what they want in the next moment of creation. Now, whether they acknowledge or not, but by action, they are obeying the order of the Creator. Therefore, they are obeying the will, because the order of the universe is the manifestation of the will of the Creator. They don't acknowledge, okay, the result after graduation. But as long as they obey it, and then God rewards them. That is his promise. He says, I'm not going to make a distinction between believer and unbeliever as far as their relationship with the way I created. But their spiritual feelings are different matter. That is different matter. So we will talk about it. Let me just pass that, because we are going to talk about this one. The well-known prayer, another form of prayer, this is what we usually think of as prayer. Now, this is a very small portion if you look. If you are careful in our life, this well-known prayer is a very small portion of prayer. But we only know this one, unfortunately, in the culture. So that's why we are expanding it to the universe-wise prayer. So this is prayer by word. This is when we use our voices and hearts to ask God directly for what we need. Please, Allah, give me a good, successful, for example, a profession. Now, this is only when I need some specific things in our life. But we have now demonstrated or understood that all our life, 24/7, we are always in the position of praying. That is what we have to really uh, expand our understanding of prayer, inshallah.
Okay, so may I comment a little bit on this? I think, as you mentioned, this part is really essential. When we reflect on that, we see we do nothing but prayer. So
Mhm.
the whole life is a life of prayer. When you eat, you're praying. When you walk, you're praying. When you work, you're praying. So everything's prayer. But to understand that, it's really essential to know, what we mean by prayer. So in a way that essentially when we define prayer is when you need or want something but have no power to get and you ask for it. So in this case, and I think in the story of those two guys in Surah Al-Kahf, when this rich guy had this two gardens, so he thought that it was his hard work and he worked and he got it. But his poor friend and good friend told him that no, when you enter your garden, you are not supposed to say it was my work. You were supposed to say, MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. So I think that expression clearly tells that to understand everything we do as is it just prayer is first we need to know that the power with Allah alone. He does not share his power with anyone or anything. And if everyone and everything is completely powerless, and when they need something, when they want something, they have no option but just asking from Allah. So I think that is the if we can truly understand the reality of human being to be impotent, powerless, and then we will realize everything we do is just a form of asking Allah to create what we want and need for us. So then the entire life become a prayer. But if we somehow think, it's my intelligence, my hard work, I have a power, is limited. I only go and pray when my power is not enough. That is a very big, misguidance, I think, because sometimes I even hear they say, oh, I'm sorry, you cannot really resolve your problem now. Your problem, you are left now to go and ask Allah to help you. As if in other time, in Turkish, they say, İşin Allah'a kalmış. Means that like your work now your problem can only be solved by Allah. No one else can solve. It's very wrong. So because that's the idea as if I could do other things, but when I cannot really do it, then I'm going to go and beg Allah to help me. And I think that is the part we need to really correct our understanding.
Can I summarize what you said? I think prayer is being conscious of what we are doing in this world, in every action. What am I doing now? What am I doing? I am speaking. No, I'm praying. I'm praying to speak. When I breathe, I'm praying to continue or to asking the Creator to give me life again next moment, next moment, next moment. It's all prayer, prayer. Okay, we are always
I think, yeah, we are. I don't know. Do you want to cover the third one because we at the time is up almost. Is actually just up. But if you want to cover that, that's fine. I think we can go for a few more minutes.
Now, do you think we should this because our prayers determine our existential human value? What does it mean? When, how much do I worth? I am an honorable human being.
Depends on
depending
how much
on,
money you have, how much money you have in your account, maybe.
oh no, credit store. In America, credit store, history.
Okay.
No, your worth, really, in the practical life, this is the materialist, capitalist life. Your value is according to your credit history everywhere. But our prayers determine our existential human value. What does it mean? The Quran gives us a completely different perspective. Do you think we should study this next week in
Uh,
the essential, I think?
yeah, I think that's let's in a way, briefly tell us what we mean exactly by this existential human value. Then we
Mm.
cover it next week, inshallah.
Yeah,
Well, what do we mean? I mean, because this is, how the prayer has to determine the human value. What is the connection between the two?
yeah, yeah. That's the subject for the next week. Now, again, I will repeat and close today's discussion, inshallah. We don't repeat here what we have already known. We know that information uh, is very cheap. We have to have new concepts that we didn't know. That is why we are going very slowly, very slowly. Every concept needs to be really digested so that we will understand. So we will say, for example, is it a good man? Is it a bad man? Well, it depends how he is conscious of prayer, his prayer. Whom or what he is praying. What? The nature, the chance, what? It is natural laws, or the money, status. No, the Quran says no. How much you are connecting with the Creator. And accordingly, you are valuable or not. A valuable human value. We should never forget human value, not material value. Material value, a human body is worth nothing, but a piece of gold is more precious than human body. Piece of bodily. But human body is different. The humanity is different. So our spirit, spiritual value, we can call it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inshallah next week. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا إن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. And see you next week, inshallah. I think our journey of prayer is going to continue, and it's a beautiful subject. So, and make pray for inshallah, for our benefits from this program as well.
Everybody will know how much valuable I am as a human being. Next
Inshallah.